So welcome back from the break. Before we begin our next section, is there anything left over from this morning earlier that you need to have clarified or comment that you'd like to make? Okay, very good. All right, this next section, we're going to look at the distinction between finished versus complete. So when I ask you, what for you is the distinction? What would you say? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, finished has something to do with the timeline. Okay, complete seems a little less, a little more whole. All right, thank you. You? Okay, you might have the opposite understanding. Very good. Okay, so these two terms, they're not equal, they're not the same. And so we like to make a distinction between them because this is key to our work. Remember when I said that we're going to have conversations around key terms because we need to know how we understand these words, these terms, and that everybody has the same understanding. So I'll give you an example of the distinction between finished versus complete. Has anybody painted a room? Painted a house, painted a room? Yeah, okay, yes, very good. I did that in a previous apartment I had, and I'm going to do it again in this apartment I had. So I know what it takes. You have to get everything ready first. You've got all the furniture in the middle of the room. You put a tarp over it, perhaps, if you can't move it to another place. You get the walls and the light fixtures and all the windows taped so that you're not going to paint over anything that you don't want painted over. And so I'm going to paint this room, and I've got company coming next day. So I have to get this done in one day. So I've taped everything, got it all ready. I'm painting the walls, painting the walls, painting the walls. And I looked at it and I go, wow, that's better than I thought. And so it needs a second coat. So I'm painting the walls and painting the walls and painting the walls and get everything done. And so it looks pretty good. I'm happy with this color. And so I clean the brushes, put the paint away. I untape everything. I unpack whatever was underneath the tarp, get it all in place, and I'm ready. The next day, I've got company coming. And just as they're about to enter the door, I look one more time at this wonderful work that I've done. And all of a sudden, I look and I look again. I look, oh my God, I missed a spot. There's a whole section that didn't get a second coat. And it's like, I can't do anything about it now. It's finished, it's done. And I've got the doorbell ringing. So the people all come in and they're saying, oh, Susan, what a wonderful job you did. This is amazing. Now, where do you think my eye's going? Not to this. I'm looking at that spot in the wall because I know there's something that's not right and it sits in my craw. They don't see it, I do. Anybody had that experience? So the painting is finished, yes. Everything's put away, everything is cleaned up, people are coming in. But is it complete? Is it complete? Not for me, it isn't. Because I know there's something that's not right. Something that's incomplete for me. See the distinction in that? It happens in our relationships. Remember this morning when I talked about the fact that my father was an alcoholic. And even though I thought that whole part of my past was gone, as soon as I'm in a situation where something's triggered, it showed up again. It showed up again. Now, has anybody had the experience of a relationship that you thought was complete, that you thought was ended, but then something happens and there's something that just is not complete for you? What was that like? Yeah, you see a car go by and you realize that's the same car my boyfriend had. And then all these memories come. Or you smell a scent of somebody's perfume. And it's like they're there in your face. And so something is finished, the relationship might be over, but it's not complete for you. You get that? Anybody else have an experience of that? Okay, thank you. And so when we're looking at reconciliation, reconciling you with others, you with life, there's a lot of things that are incomplete in our space. We think they're finished because they're in the past. But if they're not resolved in the past, where are they going to show up again? In the present. And if I don't resolve it in the present, where for sure is it going to show up again? In the future, for sure, for sure. Residential schools, the Indian residential schools. The last one closed in 1996. Are they finished? Are they in the past? Yes, in part, they are. No more schools. But is it complete? Is it complete? No, it's not complete, because it's still in our space. Whether we're Indigenous or non-Indigenous, they're still in our space. And so when we're looking at reconciliation between you and you with others, and you with life, we want to get a hold of an understanding of what is still incomplete in my space. In my space. And we know it's incomplete because there's something that can happen that can be triggered, and all of a sudden it's like I'm right back where I was before. I was before. You know, somebody told me recently, she says she was going out for dinner with some friends, and it was after school ended. And she said she got to the restaurant that they were supposed to meet at, and most of them had left already because they changed restaurants, but nobody told her until the last person said, no, come on, we're coming to this restaurant. And then at some point somebody says, yeah, we forgot you. And she said, all of a sudden, my whole day was ruined because they forgot me. And when she processed back, it was because she always had this sense of being abandoned. She could get in touch with that and see where that came from. So there's lots of things in our life that are incomplete. When they're complete, they just are part of our past. They're part of who we are, but they don't drive us. They don't cause us to stumble. They're just a memory, just a memory. So what I want you to do next is we're going to do an exercise, an incompletion exercise. So I want you to get your books out. Find 2 clean pages. 2 clean pages. First of all, is there any questions on that? Anything that is not clear for you? Okay, so get your book out. I invite you to put your name on your book because they all look the same. And what you're going to write in here is for you alone. Just put your name on your book. And then I want you to find 2 clean pages. And on those pages, just put a line through the center, approximately center down, like this. And then write 1, 2, 3, and 4 in each of the quadrants. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when you're finished that, turn the page and do the same thing again. 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn the page once more. 9, 10, 11, 12. Finally, last time. 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, thanks.